Hey guys, the purpose of this video is to look at 5 different aspects that I take into account when I jungle. This guide will not look at what champions are currently OP because the meta will always change and it's not going to help you to get better at the game. Instead, it will focus on my thought processes and subsequent decisions from those thoughts. Let's get into it. First and foremost is choosing the correct jungler. Just because you're the world's best hack room does not mean that you will fit into every team. Pick a jungler that complements your team composition. If you have a late game comp, you have 2 options. You can either pick a gank heavy jungler and harass all the lanes. This will help your team get through the start game when they're in struggle town. For example, if I have a Nasus in top lane, I know the enemy jungler is most likely going to focus on camping him because start game is his weakest point. I'd pick a jungler like Lee Sin, which can get through his jungle relatively quickly and get to top lane to help defend Nasus. The second option is to focus on playing a farming jungler. This I would only suggest when you're very confident in the team you're playing with. You know that even if you pick a start game at disadvantage, they will bring it through to late game. In this scenario, I'm talking mostly about rank 5 teams, so if you're solo queuing, this really doesn't apply. Once you've chosen the correct jungler which suits your team, form a habit of checking out what the lane matchups are while you're in the loading screen. Rate them from easiest to most difficult to gank. From there, choose one lane which you're practically going to ignore throughout the game. When the game starts, let them know you're most likely not going to be ganking for them, and let the other 2 lanes know that you will be camping them. In most cases, just because of the way I jungle, I feel much more comfortable ganking top and mid. This is because you're dealing with less wards and the lanes which can seem real easily. My playstyle is also largely affected by the fact I regularly duo queue with an ADC. This isn't the case for all games, and obviously you need to be able to adjust accordingly in game to when situations change. But as a general rule, select your targets before going into the game. This will alter your juggling path and set you up to be in the right place at the right time. If you're playing a game and you have a Jax top lane who's crying the top is gankable but you don't think that's the case, don't go there. Simply because if you have a picture in your mind of how you envision the game playing out, and ganking top right now will ruin that vision, it will make you unprepared for the rest of the game. Also, when you do get into the lane calling for help, you may be hesitant. This Jax may just be calling for help because he knows he's going to lose his lane. You could definitely risk giving up the 1v2 double kill if you don't think that the fight will work in your favour. However, I'm not saying that you should ignore the player. Tell them the situation. Say, I plan to gank mid, then bot, and then I'll gank if I have the opportunity. Clearly you do need to be able to adapt to a game, just don't let others dictate how you play. This builds on from the last point and is very important. If you're duoing with someone and you feel because he's your friend that you should win his lane for him and then camp it, you're definitely doing it wrong. Take an external look at it and ask yourself, if this guy wasn't my duo, would I be ganking this lane right now? If the answer is no, tell your duo, look, there are better lanes for me to gank right now, and I will get to your lane when the time is right, but at the moment you're not the top priority. If the guy flips out, well then you shouldn't be duo queuing with him anyway. I'd like to think of my duo partner as a guaranteed lane. I know that when I get into a game, if I completely ignore that lane that my duo partner is in, they should win it. This synergizes very well with point 2, and I'll give context to demonstrate. Say you're duoing with an ADC and you're the jungle. I like to pick a jungle that will be able to help out top and mid lane and completely ignore the bottom lane. I rely on my duo partner to handle the bottom lane. This means that even if the jungle is in their lane constantly, and worst case scenario they die and lose their turret, they have still pulled the jungle focus onto that lane and have allowed me to win top and mid. In a better scenario, they're able to win bot lane and I'm able to help win mid and top. With all 3 lanes won, the game starts to become very easy. There are many different ways that this game can pan out, so take these only as general rules to apply to a game. If mid and bot are doing quite well but top is losing very hard, don't make it your mission to win the lane for them. If top's already fed, the lane's gone. You're much better off camping mid and bot, once you successfully gank, take the turret. The global gold you're getting is far better than the shutdown on a champion who's already fed and most likely just going to kill your top when he gets back anyway. There are slight exceptions to this, and when making your decision of whether you should try help top out or not, I like to use this as the golden rule. If I gank this guy's lane, will it turn the lane around? Say for example top is only slightly behind and it's relatively early game. If I get that one gank where the fed opponent uses all of his summoners and we kill him, if my top can save his summoners, he's now relieved a lot of pressure and he can most likely get farm and possibly secure another kill on his own. That's an example of when it's a good time to try and help a losing lane. If the enemy Riven is 11-0 and is tower diving your top lane without losing any HP, give up on it because your presence is not only going to have no effect on how that fight goes, but by being there you're also not pressuring other lanes anymore. So these are just some of the tips and things that go through my mind when I jungle. Hopefully they will be able to make you a better jungler and ultimately win you more games. If you have any general rules that you follow that I haven't covered in this video, please post them in the comment section below. As always, please take the time to like, subscribe and comment on the video as it really means a lot. If you're looking for this kind of guide in another role, I'll be releasing videos on them soon, so please keep an eye on our channel. Thanks guys, and good luck in the jungle.